Hi, welcome to Student Org Leader Orientation for New Student Organizations. My name is Amy Prouse. I'm the Director of Student Involvement. This module that you are about to watch will show you how to officially register your student organization as a brand new org here at Texas Tech. So the first step that you need to take is to please log in with your E-Rater credentials to the Tech Connect platform. Once you do that, you should see the Tech Connect homepage in front of you. The first page that you're going to navigate to is going to be our top left-hand corner of the homepage, where you see our 3 parallel lines with the right-facing half arrow. We're going to click that menu button, and our vertical left-hand menu is going to drop down. We are going to navigate to click to Organizations, which is our third choice from the top. Home, Events, Organizations. So we will click Organizations. Then from our Organizations page, we're going to navigate on the left side of that page down to the white button that says Register an Organization. This is the place where only brand new student organizations register a student organization. This is not where you will register your student organization when you re-register in the upcoming compliance seasons. Okay. So when I click register an organization, I see that it says re-register an organization. We're not going to do that right now because we have to register first to re-register in the future. Instead, what we're going to do is scroll down to the bottom of this page and click register new. We're not click it, but we're going to read register new. And then we're going to click the blue button that says register a new organization. By clicking that blue button, you will be taken directly into the registration template where you will complete a 9-step process. So the first thing that you should do is to please review the following instructions. I am not going to read these instructions to you in this training. You are all extremely smart and able to read these instructions on your own. So I do encourage you, please read the instructions. And if you have any questions after reading those instructions, please be sure to email our office or contact me or our staff for any help. So after you read the instructions, you're going to scroll down and you're going to click next. All right, this is step 2 of the 9-step process. So the first thing we're going to do is enter our official organization name. This is the name that your organization will be known as from this point on. Please note that you cannot use the words Texas Tech or Red Raiders in your official student organization name. You can use the words Tech or Raiders, but you cannot use Texas Tech or Red Raiders. So for the purpose of this training, we're going to call this student organization the Student Involvement New Student Org. All right. If we have an acronym or a nickname for our organization, we can put it there as well. So just for the sake of creating an acronym, we're going to be called SINSO. SINSO. SINSO is the Student Involvement New Student Organization. Under Organization Description Summary, we're going to write a brief summary of our organization. So for the purpose of this training, I'm going to keep it very short. Please note you have 254 characters that you can type into this box. A full organization description can be included in the text box in the next question. Okay. Now, after I complete my organization description summary, I'm going to move down to our organization description in this text box. In this text box, this is a basic word processor. You can link anything you need into this text box. You can embed videos, etc. So this is where I highly encourage you to put an in-depth description, any links to web pages, any YouTube videos, any fun things that you want to put in this text box to better advertise and better entice people to read about your organization and join your organization. What's most important about the organization description text box is whatever you type in this text box is going to appear on the home page of your student organization's Tech Connect page. And so what's in this text box is exactly what students will see when they look up your organization in Tech Connect. So that's the importance of this box, all right? No worries if you input information into this box during the registration process, but you end up needing to change it or make revisions or edit, or you just don't like it and you want to redo it completely. Even after your registration is approved, you can still make changes to your actual Tech Connect page. So you can go back and edit this page, but this information that's in this organization description box needs to be as accurate and as quality of information as you can provide in the registration process. All right. The next step is website, and this is the part of the new org registration process that we get the most questions about and the most emails about. So I want you to pay close attention to the link that is under here, all right? What they want you to do is they want you to basically type in what's going to come after the word organization and the /. So what you're going to type is, and you would think they'd provide a little bit more instructions about actually how to type this out as your organization website URL, but they don't. And so through trial and error, I have figured out this is how you do it. So you're going to take your student organization name, your official name, not your acronym, and you're going to type it into this box, separating the words by a dash. There we go. Right, now we see that in our URL right here, we see that the URL is specific to our student organization's name. An external website, you're not required to have an external website as a student organization. Tech Connect takes the place of you having to have an external website, but if you have an external website for your org, that's fine too. You can paste any type of external website link in the box underneath the required organization website URL text area. All right, moving into social media. There's a variety of various social media outlets you see advertised here where you can put your handle in those areas. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to use our Student Org Leader Instagram page. All right, so the @TTU Student Org's Instagram page. I'm actually going to read the directions and type my Instagram handle in the way that it wants me to. There we are. So the / would be your handle of your Instagram page, but I can't spell correctly or type that incorrectly. So I think that's what that's supposed to look like. Now, these, you do not have to do these upon registration. You can always go back into the about information on your organization's Tech Connect page and update everything that you see on step 2 of the registration process. Now we're going to do organization contact information. The thing to remember, the one thing to remember about step 2 of the new org registration process is when it comes to organization contact information, all of that information that you're about to put into this page in step 2 ends up on the home page of your student org's Tech Connect organization page. All right. All of that information that's on a organization's homepage in Tech Connect is also viewable to the public. That means the public outside of Texas Tech. So I heavily suggest that you do not use your personal email addresses or your personal information at all in the organization contact information part. You can use an organizational email like a Gmail or an Outlook an Outlook type, maybe a Hotmail or Google account, whatever external email account you choose to use to receive organization emails. That's what I suggest you use, all right? So for an example, I'm going to use an email address that we have for an involvement ambassador team. That email is just this. All right, so that email address is what we'll publish on the homepage of this org's Tech Connect page, and then students will be directed to email this email when they want to inquire about the org, instead of the student defaulting to whatever maybe the advisor's email address or the president's email address. Okay, again, do not put your personal information in this section because everybody will have access to it. So for our street address, I'm going to put our office address. What? Oh. Again, make sure you don't use your personal cell phone number right here. All right, y'all will not see this. This is an admin feature that populates anytime we do this. These are the questions that our office answers when y'all complete compliance requirements. So I just have to go through and answer these questions real quick so we can move to the next step, but you all will not see these questions when you do this process. You also are not required to answer these questions. That's the responsibilities of our staff. All right, step 3, a profile picture. So right here, this is optional, but I highly encourage you to use a profile picture to dress up your page. Use your customized student org logo that you may have had developed. Or this is a chance where if you haven't had a logo developed, now you maybe could jump on that because you have a place to put it in your Tech Connect page. So I'm going to skip this right now, and we're just going to move to the next step. All right, so in our intent to form training, we talked to you about when you register, you only need to pick 2 categories of student organizations that most closely match your student organization. So the title of this org is Student Involvement New Student Organization. We know that student involvement is a department on campus. So in that sense, I might be able to find a category that surrounds maybe, academic, no, campus departmental support. So if my organization directly helps support a department on campus, like the hypothetical student involvement new student organization would, then my first category would be campus departmental support. Also, maybe the students that participate in this student organization are getting service and philanthropy hours. All right. We also can delete by clicking in the assigned categories. Instead, I'm going to pick pre-professional. All right. So you have the option, but we highly encourage you to only pick 2. Okay. All right. Now step 5. Now we're going to pick our interests. You could pick as many of these as you want, I believe. So our interests are going to be media. And in media, we're going to have media creation. We're going to go back, and I believe in interests, we're going to put professional. And we're going to have development. Just basic professional development experiences that you can get in this organization. Remember, you can pick more than 2, but for time's sake, I'm only going to pick 2 right now. All right, now step 6 is a very important part. This is where you actually build your roster from scratch. Your roster has to include 1 president, 1 treasurer, 1 faculty staff advisor, and at least 6 total participants. So here are 1, 2, 3. You need 3 more that are labeled differently than the president, treasurer, or faculty staff advisor. So You go down to add new members and assign positions. You have the option to add individual members or position by listing the position of the member, the email, the TTU email of the person, their first name and last name. Or you can add multiple members in bulk by copy and pasting their TTU emails into this box, separating the emails by commas, with a comma, semicolon, or line return. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going, and one thing that you don't have the ability to do when you add multiple members in bulk is to assign their officer position or to assign their position in the org. So for now, we're going to put our president. Our president is going to be me. And we're going to add. And then we scroll down to review our roster and we see that our president and is also a default member has been added. All right, now we're going to try the add multiple members in bulk. I'm going to add our student involvement staff. I'm not going to use her, so I don't want to get see. All right. So there's our three people we're going to add. So let's add those. All right, let's scroll down to review roster. And we see that the three who we bulk added are right here. Okay. And so I want to go edit their member positions. I want to make Deborah the treasurer. Oops, wrong button. I want to make Stephanie Lamar the faculty staff advisor because she is the advisor of our Involvement Ambassador program. And then I want to make Emily, I think Emily is going to be the secretary. All right. Now, if I go back up and I look to see if my requirements are met, I'm missing participants, yes, and I can't necessarily move on. See, not all required positions have been added until I add more participants. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 2 more. All right, so we're going to do okay. Those 2 are going to be members. All right. Now we scroll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Now we scroll back up and we see all of our roster requirements have been met. These are the correct positions for my officers. And then our folks who are labeled members are also labeled as members. And we're going to click next. Now we're going to answer our questions and we're 3 steps away from finishing. So you're answering these questions to the best of your ability. All right. If you have questions about these questions, feel free to reach out to our office and ask, okay? And we can help you answer these to the best of your ability. All right, so does the student org fraternity sorority sport club include a joining process for full membership? Includes but not limited to pledging, rushing, recruitment, or rookies? No, this organization does not. How many current members are involved? This is an estimation, all right? So this is a new org. We've got 1 to 10 members. Does the organization host social events? Yes. Does the organization host or participate in events with minors or non-students? Yes, because we could possibly maybe go volunteer in schools or in community programs that involve minors. Does the organization have any bank accounts? Well, we're a new org and we can't open a bank account until we have officially become an approved and registered student organization. So no, we do not right now. Could any member of the org suffer injury from participating in activities? Well, I mean, I guess anybody could have an injury doing anything, but in the most practical sense and basic sense, no. Could any non-member or guest of the org suffer potential injury? Not basically, no. Does 50% or more of our student org membership travel outside of Lubbock? Well, not right now, no, but maybe next year that changes. Do members of the org take at least one trip per year outside of Lubbock? There's the possibility that we could, so I'm going to check yes. And was the organization established within the past 12 months? Yes, because you're a brand new org. Now we're going to upload our Constitution and bylaws document that our office should have already approved for your organization. Here's what our file upload system looks like. All right, I'm going to go down to student orgs, and I'm just going to use a document. I'm just going to use a document that meets the requirements for this training. Next. Right, this is where I type in the true organizational purpose of my org. For the sake of this training, this is going to be short, but this should be thorough when you get to step 9. Okay. Are we affiliated or associated with the Texas Tech University Department? Well, in this sense, yes, because this student org would be a campus departmental support for student involvement, all right? So if you receive any money from a department on campus, an academic college, then yes, you are affiliated. If your org advisor must be the organization's advisor because it is in their job description, then yes, you are affiliated or associated with the Texas Tech University Department. If yes, please identify the department or college you are associated with. Ours would be student involvement. You do not have to have the exact name. You could just type in College of Engineering. You could type in Mechanical Engineering. You could type in College of Arts and Sciences, okay? If you're not affiliated, you just click no and you don't worry about this box, okay? This is not a required box if you're answering no. Are we affiliated with a local, state, or national org? Well, no, this org isn't, but other orgs might be affiliated. A lot of our advocacy organizations, a lot of our national Greek honor societies, they're affiliated with the national entity or the state or the local entity. And so they would click yes here, okay? How often does your organization meet? This organization meets weekly. What are our meeting locations? Well, these can vary, but where do you have your business meetings that happen the most often? So what is the meeting location? Maybe you have reserved one room for all semester long, and that is where you are going to meet all semester. Say that room is the Playa room in the Student Union building. There we go. Maybe say the room that you're going to reserve is Mechanical Engineering 112. All right. So if you don't have a set meeting location, you can just put NA. You also could type no set meeting location. All right. Do you host your meetings off campus? There's a possibility that you could. And if you do host your meetings off campus, please tell us where those meetings are hosted. Some faith-based organizations do host meetings off campus, and generally where they meet possibly could be the church-affiliated meeting center. So, for instance, one of those places in Lubbock right across the street is called the Wesley Foundation, right? So if that's where you meet off campus, you just type in that name just like that. Does the student organization own the locations where the meetings are hosted? This question is in reference to, do you host your meetings off campus? This is actually a risk management question that we are required to ask you per Clary Act guidelines. And then what are our month of officer selections? We're going to put that we elect officers in April. Next. It's telling me there's missing fields. So what did I miss? Oh, I did not put my meeting location. Do I host meetings off campus? No. Hang on. We're going to put Starbucks. near campus. Well, in A, because this organization doesn't meet off campus. I'm trying to make this simple for this training, okay? But I think y'all understand, hopefully you understand or get the gist of what we are asking when we ask where meetings are hosted off campus and what our meeting locations are. All right, and then lastly, new student organization registration questions, the end of step 9. Well, almost the end of step 9. So our financial information. Does our organization collect dues? Yes, we're a new org, we need money. Best way to do that is to collect membership dues. Does your organization operate or manage its own bank account? No, not right now, we don't, but we will. And it's okay if you select no, knowing that you will have a bank account in the near future. We know that organizations cannot open a bank account unless their registration is approved by our office. So we're expecting you to answer this question as no. So that's fine. No need to stress about, well, we're going to open a bank account in 1 month and then clicking yes. It's not a complicated question. It's a literal question. Do you manage a bank account right now? Yes or no? All right. All student organizations are required to keep an on-campus mailing address. Please, please, please read the directions that are in the blue box right here. This blue box explains university policy regarding student organizations' mailing addresses. So you're going to be asked to please list your org's mailbox number through Student Government Association, if applicable. If you do not have an SGA mailbox number, simply just type NA. Please list your organization's faculty, staff, advisors mail stop number. The mail stop number should appear as MS followed by a 4-digit number. MS stands for mail stop. The mail stop is the 4-digit number. Generally, you can find a mail stop on an employee's business card. You also can just ask your advisor what their mail stop is. They will know what you're asking about, and they'll give you the mail stop. So I'm going to use our office's mail stop number. All right, if you don't have an SGA mailbox, which it might be hard for you to get one at this point because there are probably more than double the amount of organizations than there are mailboxes. The default would then be for you to use your advisor's mail stop number. You must receive mail on campus, right? You have to have an on-campus mailing address. So in that case, you just want to put your advisor's mail stop right here. All right, now we're going to the name of now we're inputting advisor contact information. So the name of our on-campus advisor is going to be Kimberly Thornton. Kimberly's email address is as follows, not a slash, .thornton@ttu.edu. Phone number 806-742-5433. It can be their office number. It doesn't have to be their cell phone number or anything like that. The department that they work in, and whether they are a faculty member or a staff member on campus. Ooh, Kimberly staff. And then the primary on-campus advisor's mail stop number, like we just discussed earlier. You will need that in possibly more than one spot. This is also the spot where you must upload your advisor agreement form. The upload process is the same as that of the Constitution. We're going to upload our advisor agreement form. Click OK. Do we have another faculty staff advisor? In this case, no. But some organizations do have an additional advisor. In that case, you click next. No, yes, then you would click next. So for the time being, we're going to click yes. We're going to click next. All right, now we're going to fill out the information for an additional advisor if we have that. We do not have that for this organization, so I'm going to go down and click no. All right, and it moves us to new student organization registration questions, verification of university policy agreement. You are going to read the verification of information, which basically says that the information you put into this registration template is true and you're not lying about it, okay? You're also going to read the university policy agreement as well, okay? Then you're going to check that I have read and reviewed the verification of information in university policy agreement, and you confirm that you are meeting all of the requirements to create your new student organization. And then you will click next. All right, this is where you will upload your Student Org Leader Orientation Certificate of Completion for new student organizations. So again, we have a simple file upload. So when you complete Student Org Leader Orientation for new student organizations, you'll be prompted to generate a certificate of completion that is a PDF document. You will need to save this PDF document because it is required for you to upload the document into the registration template, which is a double verification system. So we know that your organization has completed the mandatory course of student learning orientation, student leader orientation, or student org leader orientation. I can't even get the name right today. Right, we're going to use our file upload again. Okay. And then we're going to click next. It's going to ask us to review our submission. If we've reviewed it and we're confident in it, we're going to click submit. And there we go. Now, in your individual account settings under your My Submissions, you can actually look at your organization registrations to see the status of the registration that you just submitted. So right now it's pending. Okay. If it says in progress, that means it hasn't been completed or submitted yet. All right. When our office reviews it, it'll either be approved or denied. If it's approved, this will change to approved. If it's denied, this will change to denied. Once we deny or approve the registration, you actually can go back into your TechConnect account by clicking on your user circle up here in the top right. It's either going to be a picture if you've uploaded a profile picture to your account, or it's going to be your initial. Once you click that circle, you're going to have a vertical menu pop out and you're going to click My Submissions. Then you can see your submissions for forms, elections, org registrations, events, and budgeting. We're going to click org registrations. If we find the one we're looking for, we're going to follow the row all the way over. Under action, we're going to click the eyeball. And there's our registration submission. Okay, so there you all go. That's how you submit a registration for your brand new student organization. So I hope this was helpful. Ideally, if I was you, what I would do is I would pull this video up right next to my open registration. And as I'm watching this video, I would complete my registration at the same time. So I'm not having to try to remember everything that was said or guess on what was said. And again, if you have any questions while you're trying to register your org in TechConnect, please email our office. Our office email is studentorgs@ttu.edu. We look forward to working with you, and we're really excited that you're forming a new student organization. Bye-bye.